The 1999 McDonald's All-American team doesn't have a ton of top-end stars, but several of these guys carved out solid NCAA and NBA careers. However, several players from the 99 class didn't make this roster and went on to have NBA success. That includes 7-time All-Star Joe Johnson, 3-time Sixth Man of the Year Jamal Crawford, 2-time All-Star Caron Butler, and 3-time All-Star and Master of the Hibachi Grill, Gilbert Arenas. That said, those guys didn't make this team, so let's jump into the 1999 class of McDonald's All-Americans and see what happened. Jonathan Bender. The giant shooting guard was the MVP of the McDonald's game and broke Michael Jordan's all-time scoring record at the event with 31 points. Bender was one of the more unique prospects scouts had seen to this point. He mixed a 6'11 frame with guard skills and a solid three-point shot. Had he played in the modern NBA, things might have ended very differently. Still, the Raptors picked him 5th overall in the '99 draft after he decided to skip college. Toronto traded him to the Pacers for Antonio Davis soon after. In his NBA debut, Bender dropped 10 points in 13 minutes to become the first prep-to-pros player to score in double figures during his first game. However, Bender only played in 24 games during his rookie season, largely due to injuries. He was again limited in year 2, but played in 78 games in 2002, averaging 7.4 points and 3 rebounds, largely off the bench. Unfortunately, that would be his best season, as persistent knee injuries limited him to just 75 games over the next 4 seasons. Bender was out of the league from 06 to 09, dealing with injuries. In 2010, the Knicks signed him to a minimum contract. In 25 games, he averaged 4.7 points. The Knicks wanted to bring him back for the next season, but Bender declined and retired from the sport. He's since been working in the business world as an entrepreneur and public speaker. LaVell Blanchard. Blanchard stayed in state to sign to play with Michigan. He was a force from the jump, averaging 14.4 points and nearly 8 rebounds as a freshman. His best season was probably his sophomore year, when he dropped 17.8 points and 8.4 rebounds, though he was remarkably steady across his 4 years, becoming the 5th player in NCAA history to lead his team in scoring and rebounding during his 4 seasons on campus. He was also a 4-time All-Big Ten player, making the first team in 2003 during his senior season. Despite the collegiate production, Blanchard went unselected in the 2003 NBA draft. He did enjoy a long career playing overseas, making stops in Italy, Germany, France, Cyprus, Ukraine, Finland, Brazil, and Argentina. He was a Bundesliga All-Star in 2006 and won the Cyprus League Cup in 2009. As of 2025, he's working as an assistant principal for a middle school in Michigan. Keith Bogans. Bogans played high school ball at DeMatha Catholic under legendary coach Morgan Wooten. For college, he joined Tubby Smith's squad at the University of Kentucky. During his 4 years on campus, he never averaged fewer than 11.6 points, peaking at 17 a night during his sophomore season. As a senior, he led the Wildcats to an SEC title and the Elite Eight, where they lost to Dwayne Wade's Marquette squad. Bogans made the All-American team that season, and the Magic picked him in the 2nd round of the 2003 draft. The 6'5" guard spent 11 seasons in the NBA, never averaging more than 9.6 points a night. The longtime journeyman played for 8 teams during his career, never spending longer than 3 seasons with one franchise. While never a star, Bogans was known for his tough-nosed defense and willingness to do the dirty work. He last played for the 76ers in 2014. Bogans was the oldest player on the Trailblazers' 2015 Summer League squad, but didn't make the final roster. He then played for the Westchester Knicks in the NBA D-League for the 2016 season before retiring. Bogans was hired as Westchester's assistant coach and joined the Knicks staff as an assistant in 2019. In 2022, he joined the Pistons as a player development coach. As of 2025, he's working as a youth coach and runs a podcast. Carlos Boozer. While Boozer was born on a military base in Germany, he grew up in Alaska. Boozer joined Duke for college ball, where he was instantly a double-digit scorer. Alongside fellow 99 McDonald's players Jay Williams and Mike Dunleavy Jr. and senior Shane Battier, Booz won a national title in 2001. With Battier off to the NBA in 2002, Booz took his game to the next level, averaging 18 points and 9 rebounds to make the All-American squad. Boozer decided to skip his senior season and head to the draft, where the Cavs picked him in the second round. He averaged 10 points and 7.5 rebounds to make the All-Rookie team. Alongside a rookie LeBron James, Booz upped his averages to 15.5 points and 11.4 rebounds in year 2. However, there was some free agency controversy after the season. The team could have kept him under contract for one more year or let him become a restricted free agent. Cleveland claimed the two sides had agreed to a 6-year deal if they let him out of his current contract. They did, and Booz signed a deal with the Jazz, who could offer him more money, leaving Cleveland high and dry. Boozer claims he never agreed to that deal, so it's kind of a he said she said situation. Either way, Boozer spent 6 years in Utah, making 2 All-Star teams in 07 and 08. He also helped the U.S. win an Olympic gold medal in 2008, but Utah never reached the mountaintop. For the 2011 season, Booz joined the Bulls in a sign-and-trade deal. His time there was somewhat limited due to injuries, but he helped the Derrick Rose-led Bulls to a few relatively deep playoff runs before the former MVP point guard got hit with his injuries. Boozer spent one last season with the Lakers in 2015 before leaving the NBA to play in China for a season. He joined the Big Three in 2018, but has largely spent the last several years coaching his twins, Cameron and Caden. Both are headed to Duke for the 2026 season. Cameron is a top 3 recruit in the class, and Caden isn't far behind as a 5-star player. Both played in the 2025 McDonald's All-American game, with Cameron sharing MVP honors with Darren Peterson. Nick Collison. Collison joined his fellow Iowan Kirk Heinrich at the University of Kansas. The duo quickly became one of the best in the country, with Collison averaging 15 points, 8 rebounds, and nearly 2 blocks a night during his 4 years on campus. He and Heinrich led the Jayhawks to back-to-back Final Fours in 2002 and 2003, though they were never able to win a title. Collison was named the Big 12 Player of the Year, the NABC National Player of the Year, and a consensus first-team All-American in 2003. That year, he also became the leading scorer in Big 12 history. As of 2025, he's still in 7th place. The Supersonics picked Collison 12th overall in the 2003 draft. Unfortunately, he missed his draft season with injuries to both shoulders. When he came back, Collison provided the team with solid backup big minutes, averaging 7.5 points and 5.6 boards. And while his averages rose as high as 9.8 points and 9.4 rebounds, Collison was never an every-night starter during his 14 years with the franchise. He went with the team to Oklahoma City for the 2009 season and quickly ingratiated himself with the community. Collison retired in 2018, and the next year, his number 4 became the first number in the franchise's history to be retired. After hanging him up, Collison joined the Thunder staff. In 2021, he was promoted to the position of Special Assistant to the Executive Vice President and General Manager. As of 2023, it looks like he's moved into a scouting role. He also remains active in his local community as an organizer. Brian Cook. Cook's father, Norm, played college basketball at Kansas and was a first-round pick by the Celtics in 1976. While the elder Cook's NBA career didn't pan out, it's not a huge surprise that the younger Cook also excelled at basketball. Cook joined Lon Kruger's Fighting Illini for college ball, though another legend, Bill Self, took over in his sophomore season. The 6'9" big man started relatively slow, at least compared to what he became, but he still won co-Big Ten Freshman of the Year. In 2001, he helped the team make a deep run into the tourney as the 1 seed before being upset by Arizona in the Elite Eight. During his senior season, he took his game to its peak, boosting his scoring by 7 points to average 20 points a night alongside 7.6 rebounds and 2 assists. He was named the Big Ten Player of the Year and made a few All-American rosters. The Lakers picked him 24th overall in the 2003 draft. As a backup to Shaquille O'Neal, Cook played sparingly during his rookie season. After Shaq left for Miami and Rudy Tomjanovich took over as the head coach, Cook's game moved to the perimeter, as the stretch big took nearly 50% of his shots from behind the three-point line in year 2. When Phil Jackson came back, Cook moved back inside, but he was still a reliable outside threat and averaged as many as 8 points a night alongside Kobe Bryant and the rest of the post-3P Lakers. During the 2008 season, Cook was traded to the Magic, kicking off his career as a journeyman. He played for 5 more seasons across 4 different teams, never starting another game. After the 2012 season, Cook spent a year playing in Puerto Rico before spending time on the Jazz and Pelicans rosters without getting any playing time. He also played in Lebanon and Japan before retiring in 2015. Cook played in the Big Three for a bit with the Killer Threes. As of 2025, he's working as a media advisor and mentoring future pros. Mike Dunleavy Jr. Dunleavy's father played college ball at South Carolina and was a 6th-round pick by the 76ers in the 1976 draft. He spent several years in the league, but is better known as an NBA head coach for the Lakers, Bucks, Trailblazers, and Clippers. He won Coach of the Year in 1999 with Portland and made 1 finals appearance with the Lakers in 1991. So when his son grew to be 6 inches taller than him, it was pretty much a given that he was going to be a good ball player. Dunleavy Jr. was born in Texas, but played high school ball in Oregon before heading to Duke for college. Dunleavy had a somewhat limited role as a freshman, but averaged 13 points and 6 rebounds in 2001 as the Dukies won a title. He bumped his averages up again to 17 points and 7 boards in 2002 and made the All-American roster. He decided to skip his senior season and enter the 2002 draft, where the Warriors picked him 3rd overall. The guy they called the Natural spent his rookie season playing limited minutes off the bench before becoming a starter in 2004. He held that role through most of his time in Golden State, averaging double figures for a non-playoff team. In 2007, he was traded to the Pacers in the deal that sent Steven Jackson and Al Harrington to the Warriors. He had his best season in 2008, averaging 18 points and 5 rebounds, and made his first playoffs in 2010. By that point, Dunleavy had become more of a 6th man. In 2011, he signed with the Bucks for 2 years, and then signed with the Bulls in 2013. Partially due to injuries to other players, the Natural became a starter for the next 3 years. However, his most notable moment might have come in the 2015 playoffs, when he appeared to throw a punch at Milwaukee Bucks player Michael Carter-Williams. A young Giannis Antetokounmpo retaliated and was ejected. The Bulls went on to win 120-66 and clinch the series, making Dunleavy a hated figure in Wisconsin. He was traded to the Cavs during the 2017 season. 23 games later, he was traded to the Hawks and retired after the playoffs. In 2018, he was hired as a scout by the Warriors. The next year, he was promoted to assistant general manager. As of 2023, he's working as the Warriors general manager. His younger brother Baker played college ball at Villanova and was a head coach at Quinnipiac. His other brother James walked on at USC and is an NBA player agent. Joseph Forte. Forte became a known name playing alongside Keith Bogans at DeMatha High School under Morgan Wooten. He joined UNC for college ball and was an instant star, dropping 17 points and winning ACC Rookie of the Year. During college, he also started wearing the number 40, which, had his career panned out, would have been some excellent marketing. As a sophomore, he took his game to another level, averaging 21 points and 6 rebounds to win ACC Player of the Year and make the first-team All-American squad. Forte decided to skip his final 2 years of eligibility and enter the 2001 draft. The Celtics picked him 21st overall. He spent 2 seasons in the NBA, playing in 25 games between Boston and Seattle. Unfortunately, his smooth mid-range game didn't translate to the NBA, and he was never able to turn himself into a high-level point guard. Forte spent a year in the G League before embarking on a long career overseas. The 6'4" guard played in Greece, Italy, Russia, Israel, and Iran through the 2015 season. As of a 2021 interview, he's living a normal life in New York. His younger brother Jason played at Brown and won the Ivy League's Player of the Year award in 2004. Jason Gardner. Gardner played his college ball at Arizona. Playing alongside future pros like Gilbert Arenas, Richard Jefferson, and Luke Walton, Gardner proved himself a solid player, averaging double figures all 4 years and making 3 All Pac-12 teams. When Arenas and Jefferson left before the 2002 season, Gardner raised his scoring to 20 a night, keeping the Wildcats in contention. He led the team in scoring once again during his senior year, dropping 15 a night and making the second-team All-American roster. Gardner was not selected in the 2003 draft. He spent nearly a decade playing overseas, with stops in Slovenia, Belgium, Israel, and Germany. In 2011, he joined the Loyola of Chicago staff as an assistant coach. In 2013, he joined Josh Pastner's staff at the University of Memphis for a season, before being named the head coach at IUPUI. Over 5 years, his team struggled to win, and he resigned. Soon after, he took over as the head coach of his high school alma mater for a season, before joining the Arizona Wildcats staff as the director of player operations, where he's still working as of 2025. Gardner's son Jason Jr. is a 4-star prospect in the class of 2027. Donnell Harvey. Harvey was widely regarded as the best player in this class before joining the Florida Gators. He spent 1 season on campus, splitting time at center with Udonis Haslem and averaging 10 points and 7 rebounds as the team raced to a national title game behind Mike Miller and the 2 bigs. Harvey decided to skip his last 3 years of eligibility, and the Knicks picked him 22nd overall in the 2000 draft, but he was quickly traded to the Mavs. Harvey spent 5 years in the NBA, jumping between 5 teams. His best stretch came with the Nuggets in 2003, when he averaged 8 points and 5 rebounds. However, he never broke through as a reliable backup and was out of the league by 2005. Harvey spent the next decade playing overseas, with stops in Greece, Turkey, China, Puerto Rico, and the Philippines. He led the Chinese League in dunks in 2009 and rebounds in 2013. As of 2022, he was living in Georgia, working for his non-profit organization after a few years coaching at his high school alma mater. Casey Jacobsen. Jacobsen joined Stanford for college ball. With the Cardinal, he was an instant bucket, averaging 14.5 points as a freshman. In year 2, he upped that to 18 points and made the first-team All-American roster. His scoring went up again in year 3 to 22 points a night, but he fell back to the second-team All-American list. That said, he did drop 49 points in a single game against Arizona State. Jacobsen decided to skip his senior season and enter the 2002 draft. The Suns picked him 22nd overall, and he spent 2.5 years in Phoenix, averaging about 6 points a night. The outside game he'd shown off in college translated, but he wasn't able to put it all together to become a consistent starter. In 2005, he was traded to the Hornets. Jacobsen spent the next 2 years playing overseas, before briefly returning to the NBA with Memphis in 2008. After that, he spent several years playing in the Bundesliga, winning the league title 5 times and picking up 2 Finals MVP awards. He retired after the 2014 season and joined the Phoenix Suns broadcasting team with Tom Chambers. He continues to work as an analyst for Fox Sports as of 2025. In 2024, he and an investment group opened an indoor sports amusement park in Arizona. DerMarr Johnson. Johnson played high school ball at Maine Central Institute before joining Bob Huggins' Cincinnati squad for college. In his lone collegiate season, Johnson was the team's third leading scorer, behind future pros Kenyon Martin and Pete Michael. After picking up the Conference CUSA Rookie of the Year, Johnson decided to forego his final 3 years of eligibility and enter the draft. The Hawks picked him 6th overall. While he only averaged 5 points as a rookie, things were looking slightly up in year 2, with 8 points a night. However, in September 2002, Johnson was involved in a car crash that cracked 4 vertebrae in his neck and nearly paralyzed him. He sat out of the entire 2003 season, with many wondering if he'd ever play again. After playing a bit in the ABA, Johnson signed with the Knicks in 2004 and averaged 5.4 points in 21 games. The next year, he signed with the Nuggets and played there for 3 seasons, averaging 6 points and 2 rebounds. He played in 8 games in the Spurs in 2008 before heading overseas. Johnson spent time in China, Puerto Rico, Colombia, the Philippines, Argentina, Venezuela, Mexico, and the Dominican Republic before retiring in 2015. In 2017, he joined the University of Cincinnati staff as a student assistant coach while finishing his degree. In 2022, he joined Bob Huggins' staff at West Virginia. He stayed with the team after Huggins was fired, but his contract was not renewed after the 2024 season. As of 2025, he's coaching at the AAU level. Jason Kapono. Kapono stayed in state to play for UCLA. He came out of the gate hot, winning Pac-10 Rookie of the Year behind 16 points a night. Kapono was a lethal shooter throughout his 4 years, making 4 straight All-Pac-10 rosters and averaging nearly 45% from deep. The Cavs picked the 6'8 forward in the second round of the 2003 draft. He spent 9 years in the league, playing for 6 teams, mostly playing as a heater off the bench. Kapono won a title in 2006 with the Heat, and won 2 3-point shooting contests in 07 and 08. He was never a serious 6th Man of the Year contender, but his ability to hit 43% of his threes over his entire career made him a valuable asset, especially for title contending teams. After being waived by the Cavs in 2012, Kapono spent a year playing in Greece, winning a Greek Cup. He retired in 2014 and has mostly kept out of the public eye. Though in 2023, you could have bought his old house for a cool $13.5 million. He isn't the only athlete in the family, as his wife's father, Tony Klein, played football for the Oakland Raiders. His brother-in-law, Tony Klein Jr., was also an NFL player, most notably with the Bills in the mid-90s. Majestic Mapp. Mapp went to Virginia for his college career. Things started relatively positively, but a torn ACL killed his development. The injury took 5 surgeries before he was able to recover, causing him to miss 2 full seasons for the Cavs. He did make it back onto the court for the 2003 season, but was far from what fans had expected out of the NYC star. Fortunately, he focused on his studies, earning his master's degree in 2004. Mapp spent his final season of eligibility at the D2 level, averaging 19 points a night for West Georgia. He never played in the NBA, instead starting a career on Wall Street. Mapp eventually got involved in coaching and won the PSAA Coach of the Year award in 2018 for a New York area high school. His brother, Scientific Mapp, also played college basketball, spending 2 years at Florida A&M. Brett Nelson. Nelson joined Donnell Harvey at Florida. During his 4 years on campus, Nelson provided a steady hand for head coach Billy Donovan. He averaged 11 points and 3 assists, with his best season coming in 2001, where he dropped 15 and 4 a night. The 2-time All-SEC player was not drafted by an NBA team. He briefly played in Sweden before joining the Colorado State staff as the director of basketball ops. In 2007, he joined the Marshall program as an assistant under Donnie Jones. He held assistant coaching positions with Arkansas, Drake, Ball State, and Marquette, before signing as the head coach at Holy Cross in 2019. He spent 4 years at the helm, going 27-84, and leaving the program after the 2023 season. He's since worked as an assistant at UMass and NC State. He's still working for the latter as of 2025. Jason Richardson. J-Rich joined Michigan State for his college career. He was a key reserve as a freshman for a team that won a national title behind Morris Peterson and Mateen Cleaves. Richardson became a starter in year 2 and brought his averages to 15 points, 6 rebounds, and 1 steal a night to make the second-team All-American roster. He skipped his final 2 years of eligibility, and the Warriors picked him 5th overall in the 2001 draft. As a rookie, he averaged 14.4 points, 4.3 rebounds, and 1.3 steals to make the All-Rookie team. He spent 6 years in Golden State, peaking at 23 points a night in 2006. He also won back-to-back dunk contests in 02 and 03, and wowed audiences with his highlight reel dunking and outstanding three-point shooting. However, his personal growth didn't lead to many wins, and he was traded to the Bobcats for the 08 season. After a year in Charlotte, where he led the league in three-pointers made, J-Rich was traded to the Phoenix Suns. He helped the team to a deep playoff run in 2010, but was traded to Orlando during the next season. Richardson continued to score in bunches due to his lethal three-point shot, but injuries started to hit as he aged. He didn't play from January 2013 until February 2015, missing 2 full seasons after a knee injury. Richardson retired after that season. He had signed with the Hawks for 2016, but knee issues popped up again, and J-Rich was worried that his ability to walk might be permanently impacted if he continued to play. Still, he eventually got back onto the court via the Big Three with the Tri-State squad. His son Jace also played college basketball at Michigan State, making the Big Ten All-Freshman team in 2025. After the season, he declared for the 2025 NBA Draft, where he's seen as a potential lottery pick. Another son, Jackson, is a 4-star recruit in the 2026 class. Casey Sanders. Sanders joined Boozer and Dunleavy at Duke. Unlike those two, and another guy we'll get to shortly, he did not have a star-studded career for the Blue Devils. Over 4 seasons, he averaged 2.7 points and 2.5 rebounds, peaking at 5-5 as a senior. Still, he was a solid role player for a team that won a title in 2001, helping anchor the defense in the championship game against Arizona. He was not selected in the 2003 draft and spent most of his career playing overseas, with stops in Sweden, Venezuela, and Poland. In 2010, he started a career in medical sales. However, in 2021, he switched careers and is working in financial management as of 2025. Kenny Satterfield. Satterfield grew up playing on the streets of New York, where he earned the nickname Sirius Satellite. He joined DerMarr Johnson at Cincinnati. The 6'2 guard averaged 9 points, 5 assists, and 1 steal as a rotation player during his freshman season. With Kenyon Martin and Johnson leaving for the NBA after the season, Satterfield stepped into a starring role in 2001, averaging 14.4 points, 5 assists, and nearly 2 steals a night. The Mavs picked him in the second round of that year's draft, but he was traded to the Nuggets. During his time there, Satterfield averaged 5 points and 3 assists, but did make his mark on the NBA by coining Chris Anderson's Birdman nickname. In 03, he was traded to Philly, but was out of the NBA after the season. He spent a decade playing overseas, with stops in Greece, Beirut, Venezuela, Mexico, Argentina, and Japan. Satterfield has since gotten into coaching. His daughter Kay played college basketball at Xavier and Seton Hall. His son KJ spent his freshman season at UAB before transferring to Hampton ahead of the 2025 season. Marvin Stone. Stone started his college career at Kentucky. However, the big man's run with the Wildcats was disappointing. He averaged 5.3 points and 4.2 rebounds, while starting just 11 of 75 games. In 2002, he decided to shut it down after 9 games and transfer to Louisville. During his lone season with the Cardinals, Stone was an every game starter when healthy, averaging 10.3 points, 7 boards, and 1.5 blocks a night. He went undrafted in 2003, so he headed overseas with stops in France, Spain, and Greece. In 2008, he signed with Ittihad, a Saudi Arabian team. Unfortunately, he collapsed at halftime of a playoff game and later died from a heart attack at only 26 years old. Damien Wilkins. Wilkins' father, Gerald, spent 13 years in the NBA, averaging 13 points a night for his career. His uncle Dominique was even better, making 9 All-Star teams and 7 All-NBA teams, en route to the Hall of Fame. So when the younger Wilkins started to break out in high school down in Florida, it wasn't a huge surprise. He initially signed with NC State for college. During his 2 years with the Wolfpack, he averaged nearly 12 points and 6 boards a night. After the 2001 season, he decided to enter the draft, but ultimately withdrew and transferred to Georgia. He was limited in 2003, but came back in 2004 to average 12.6 points, 5.4 rebounds, and 1.5 steals a game. Wilkins wasn't selected in the 2004 draft, but showed out in Summer League, leading to a contract with the Supersonics. He spent 5 years with the team, largely coming off the bench to give the team solid minutes and filling in for injured starters. Ahead of the 2010 season, he was traded to the Timberwolves. Williams spent the next 4 years bouncing around the league before leaving the NBA in 2014. He played overseas for the next 4 seasons, making stops in China, Puerto Rico, and Venezuela, before the Indiana Pacers signed him in 2018. He played in 19 games before the team waived him, and Wilkins retired soon after. As of 2022, he's working as the general manager of Overtime Elite, the developmental league for young players based in Atlanta. Jay Williams. Williams was the 4th player from this class to join Duke. He was also the best one. Williams averaged 14.5 points, 6.5 assists, and 2.4 steals as a freshman, winning the Sporting News' National Freshman of the Year award. Things only got better for Williams. In 2001, he led the Dukies to a national title, while winning NABC National Player of the Year and making first-team All-American. He also broke Dick Groat's 49-year-old Duke record for most points in a season. He dominated again in 2002, adding the Naismith Award and Wooden Award to his Hall of Trophies. Williams decided to skip his senior season and head to the 2002 draft. The Bulls picked the 6'2 guard 2nd overall, and he played well as a rookie, averaging 9.5 points and 4.7 assists to make the 2nd team All-Rookie squad. During the offseason, Williams was involved in a motorcycle accident that left him with a fractured pelvis, severed nerve in his leg, and 3 torn ligaments in his left knee. It was clear he wouldn't play for several years, so the Bulls waived him. However, they decided to give him $3 million toward his rehab expenses, something they didn't have to do because him riding his motorcycle was in direct violation of his contract. Williams eventually recovered from his injuries, though he never played in the NBA again, despite doing a short stint in the G League in 2006. He has since gone into the broadcasting world. As of 2025, he's working for ESPN. In 2024, he partnered with Giannis Antetokounmpo to form Improbable Media, which aims to produce films and TV series about up-and-coming athletes and entertainers. And that wraps up the 99 McDonald's All-American team. I'll be back in a few weeks with the 2000 squad, but if you have any ideas for future basketball videos you'd like to see, please share them below.